Hello. It's always hard to get to the truth when people can hire expensive lawyers, as is true for both Bill and Melinda Gates. I don't suppose we mere mortals will ever see through the smoke screens the legal eagles are throwing up as the cake is divided up after the couples break. One question I'd like to know the answer to, though I don't suppose I ever will, is what role, if any, did the late unlamented Jeffrey Epstein play in the marriage's ending? It's claimed by Melinda's legal team that the Hollywood mogul's advice and friendship led to Bill's extramaritals, which led to the marriage's demise. Well, as I say, I expect we will never know, and I make no attempt to pass judgment from this distance. What I think we can safely conclude, however, is that a cloud of immorality, marital breakup and human misery followed Mr. Epstein wherever he went. The Prince Andrew saga is only one small piece of the wreckage that he created. What should you and I, who move in less glamorous circles, learn from all of this? One obvious answer might seem to be, choose your friends very carefully. But seemingly, Jesus didn't. The good people of his day were genuinely scandalised by some of the company he kept. In Matthew's Gospel, chapter 9 and verse 11 and following, we read this. While Jesus was having dinner at Matthew's house, many tax collectors and sinners came and ate with him and his disciples. When the Pharisees saw this, they asked his disciples, "Why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners?" On hearing this, Jesus said, "It is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. But go and learn what this means. I desire mercy, not sacrifice, for I have come to call the righteous, not the righteous." I'll say that again. "For I have come not to call the righteous, but sinners." So we make friends uncritically, do we then? Well, Jesus' life isn't that simple. Look at Luke's Gospel, chapter 6 and verse 12 and following. And here we're told, one of those days Jesus went out to a mountainside to pray and spent the night praying to God. Well, this must be serious stuff. What's going on? Luke continues. When morning came, he called his disciples to him and chose 12 of them, whom he also designated apostles. Out of the crowds that are following him, Jesus chooses 12 men to be his inner circle, but not before a whole night of prayer. They're a very mixed bunch, ranging from active collaborators with the Romans to armed terrorists opposing them. But Jesus, after prayer, sees something in them that will make them make the sacrifices needed to be apostles. And all of them will die young for their faith, except for John, who will survive being boiled alive so that he can live to a very old age and write the Revelation. If you and I are to follow in Jesus' footsteps, two things are necessary. Firstly, we love everyone who comes into our lives just as Jesus did. There's plenty of mad, bad and dangerous people out there to make friends with. Secondly, be prayerfully careful as to who you let close enough to you to influence you. Proverbs chapter 18 and verse 24 distinguishes between the two. A man of many companions may come to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. I don't suppose the division between the general friend and the friend of our bosom can be as clear as it was in Jesus' life. Because Jesus' life was so pure that no one could contaminate his inner being. In John's Gospel, chapter 14 and verse 30, as Jesus describes to his disciples his forthcoming death, he says, "The prince of this world is coming. He has nothing in me." If sin has nothing in you, you can mix with sinners without them affecting you. Captain Manring put up with Private Walker in his platoon, but he wouldn't have invited him home for dinner. After all, Walker had something in him. He supplied the good captain's illegal whiskey. Well, you and I share mankind's common sinfulness. But let's at least try to allow the Holy Spirit to make us more like Jesus. That way, all of our life, from our casual acquaintances to our deepest friendships, will enable God's love to work through us. Bye-bye.